individuals, even if they're teens, can achieve amazing things. And a program like the Satell Teen Fellowship gives you the tools and the guidance to help you achieve what you want.
The fellowship teaches leadership with a Jewish lens, if you will.
They're an amazing group of talented, motivated, committed young people with a vision.
And hopefully we'll see them in years to come in our federation and other federations and other Jewish community organizations as the leaders and movers and shakers of change and development.
As we take these students on a road to find their own voices and encourage them to go ahead and to be leaders within the society, to find their passions, to find their voice, so that they can make a contribution to society.
This is exactly the kind of program that Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia is really proud to be part of.
The first time that our team has a chance to introduce ourselves to the fellows is really exciting. The fellows have so much energy and they're so bright and talented that we just can feel that immediately. There's an energy in the room. When I was 17 or 18, it really would have benefited me to go through a program like the fellowship and help me grow my leadership skills at that age. These kids are really lucky.
They develop, in the beginning, their own commitment statement of something they're going to dedicate this year to. Dedicate the program time and what they're going to invest in. Mira said, "I'll reduce violence in the inner city."
I personally returned to a homeless shelter where I've worked for a number of years, the Travelers Aid Family Shelter, and I began developing a conflict resolution curriculum for the young children there.
And then there's Brooke Harris. Her commitment statement was about peer-to-peer abuse.
I was just overjoyed the fact that something I pursued went somewhere and that these kids could open up. And it just all went back to the Satell program about how I learned to advocate for myself. I learned to advocate for others.
James, as a fellow, developed a Darfur project.
I was able to take the knowledge that I learned through the Satell Teen Fellowship to go back to my school community and start a service project where we were able to collect 1,256 pairs of flip-flops, over 250 articles of clothing, 18 soccer balls, along with $1,821 to send to refugee camps in eastern Chad for Darfur refugees.
My commitment statement is to spread suicide awareness and prevention in secondary schools. During the application process for the Satell Teen Fellowship, a dear, very close friend of mine committed suicide. This left me with many displaced emotions, but when I was accepted into the program, I thought it would be an outlet for me to escape. No one knew her, no one knew me, no one knew my situation. However, when I became active in the program, trying to escape all these feelings, I found myself looking at these leaders that we've seen, and they've all overcome obstacles or situations that they wanted to change, so I use that as a model for myself. This obstacle of losing my friend to suicide, something that can be prevented, I wanted to change.
We travel, we have workshops, they learn about diversity, they learn about themselves, we do written reflections, we do skill building, we do so much.
Our first big trip was to Washington, D.C. as a group, and we went to the Israel Embassy, and we met with great leaders and speakers who we listened to for a long time, and they were very inspiring.
What that gave me an appreciation for is the nuts and bolts behind leadership, that it's not just about giving speeches or about ideas, but it's about putting those ideas into action.
This past summer, Mr. Satell sent us to Israel.
The fellowship is not just another leadership program. It's a leadership program from a Jewish perspective. One of the concepts is a Hebrew phrase called acharai, which means follow me or after me. It's the guiding principle of the Israeli army, and we really want the fellows to follow that same concept. We had a very inspiring moment in the Golan Heights with General Yair, who we called Yahya, following his troops' example, and he taught us that concept. He exemplified acharai. He taught us how to lead first. He was a general. He could have sat back, let his troops fight. He fought alongside them. He was in the front lines the entire time, and that was inspiring.
What's really wonderful about the Satell Teen Fellowship program has been the broad range of Jewish teens that this program has attracted.
I thought maybe most students would be like me, come from suburban high schools, conservative Jews.
We have Orthodox Jews, Reform Jews, conservative Jews.
We're not looking for this homogeneous group. We're looking for the challenge of voices from all over the community.
Each one of us has our own background and our own story to tell.
There's James McDonald. Think about it. James McDonald. An ardent Zionist, a passionate young Jewish American. When he was 12, he was at his grandfather's house, and he had opened up a chest, and he found letters. These letters were about survival in the Holocaust. It was the legacy that his family had given him, and he didn't know it.
My great-grandfather, Isidore Fader, was a medical officer in the U.S. Armed Forces in World War II. He's my maternal grandfather, so he was Jewish. And when I opened that trunk, something opened in me. Preserved in this trunk were thousands of letters to his wife, my great-grandmother, which portrayed his experiences as one of the first people to witness firsthand the atrocities of the Nazis. They were there at the liberation of Buchenwald concentration camp, and he wrote, I think it was for 4 days straight, just his experience. It's just so much more powerful to hear it from a Jewish doctor's perspective. I, James McDonald, embraced my past and realize now that I'm a whole Jew, and my Jewish journey continues now as a Satell Teen Fellow. I want to tell Mr. Satell that he's done a really great thing by creating this foundation, because it gives teenagers, especially in the Jewish community around here, an opportunity to learn how they can best apply their passions to really make a difference.
Our voice matters.
We're leading by example.
You have to understand, because of the Satell Teen Fellowship, we are becoming the future leaders of the Jewish community.
I can't even say we're future leaders. We're leaders now, in our own way.
It's a big responsibility, and we're ready to take it on.
It's affecting the direction of my life.
Isn't it a brilliant concept? Thank you, Mr. Satell.
Really, thank you.
Toda rabah.